if they do that, they're going to be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
Let's go! Call the Five Slamma Jam.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out. Report me acting ignorant.
Deon Kris got his way through, and he may go! Kris is in! Houston leads out of nowhere! Seventh heaven for Houston. The Cougars advance to their seventh Final Four. Go Cougs! Let's go! It's so good! The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars!
We can't hear you, Andy. Welcome into Let's Race Coogs. Join us after a terrible showing against TCU at home. I'm disappointed. I'm sure my brothers are disappointed. I'm Dayon Dunlap, joined alongside Kris Gardner, Andy Yanez, of course. This is another edition of Let's Race Coogs, and Houston falls short, 17-14. Their second worst performance. How ironic how both of them have come after being ranked.
Great point.
After being ranked
Yep.
at home. I mean, I feel deflated. I can't even be optimistic about this. It's like this was horrible. It didn't just seem unprepared. Defense played good. Let me start with the bright spot. Defense played really good. Defense played really good. I saw that first drive. They gave up another one. The defense played really good. But defense played good. Cost turnovers, 2 picks, 4th fumble. Smith balled out. But man, offensively, I would rather see
Play calling.
Dayon Kris or our other quarterback just power runs. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Defense played good though. I guess we start there.
Yeah, it makes it unfortunate. They wasted a masterclass from the defense because they did just about everything except score themselves off the turnovers. Houston's offense had no business really having the team in this game. And with the loss, the 17-14 loss to TCU, Houston's now officially eliminated from Big 12 championship game contention. It would have been a long shot anyways, but really disappointing for Houston, being ranked number 23 in the college football rankings, the CFP rankings. And once again, they have a bad performance at home, TCU Stadium, last home game of the season for U of H on their senior night, and you end it with a sour taste in your mouth. And again, you waste a really, really great defensive effort from U of H.
Fellas, I'm disappointed. I'm pissed off. But I'm gonna go here. For us to say to the fans to come to the game, support the team, come to TDECU, and then for the team to lay this big ass egg.
Twice,
if I'm a fair weather fan, why should I come to the games? If I'm gonna be weak with the play calling, not be aggressive, not play to win, I mean, I'm saying fair weather fans. If you're ride or die, you're gonna come to the But for the majority of people who are not, why would they want to spend more money to see a team just go through the motions offensively and just way too conservative in the play calling? Connor Wigman, Dayon made a great point. The team played weak once again after getting ranked. They looked like they were just like, yeah, well, I mean, let's try to, but I'm really pissed off at them going for the tie, going for overtime, when you had the big play to get down there and plenty of time to go for the win.
Over a minute left. And even then, the conservative, it makes no sense to me. If you are going to play so short of the stick, why snap the ball so quick? If they wouldn't have ruled his forward progress to been stopped, it would have been over 50 seconds left for TCU to go down the field and kick a field goal that way.
I mean, not only that, halftime before the half, you got 45 seconds, 2 timeouts remaining. This
They
is
take a
college
knee.
football. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
take a knee. Like, what are we talking about here? And then, I mean, you go for the play calling at the 1 to 2 yard line. You've been QB power has been running. I mean, has been successful, but you throw a pick, trying to force it. I mean, they knew it was coming. The announcers called the play, and you don't think TCU knew it was coming? 2 men right there on Coastal, and they get the pick. I mean, offensively, it was just horrific. It was horrific. Vanilla play calling. I mean, it was bad, man. It was bad. I didn't almost fell asleep. Wanted to turn it. Oh man, they didn't deserve to win that game.
They didn't.
They didn't
Yeah.
deserve
They
to win.
didn't.
They did not deserve to win that game. It was horrible. I mean, this didn't seem prepared offensively at all. Just did not seem prepared. I can't. I mean, the OC was bad, but I mean, Coach Fritz got. I mean, let's just win games, but he has to. He has to own this one. I mean, you the head coach, man. That was horrible. Man. Defense played good. That's the only thing I can just think about the Bryce Beall defense played good, but the lack of competitiveness. Like, what's the culture now? What's the culture? How can you establish a winning, aggressive culture when at the half it's 45 seconds? We got 2 timeouts, and you're just taking the knee. No, we're not going to try and do. We're just going to take it to the half. Then you come out half. Yeah, I mean, you go 3 and out. You got a holding call, but I mean, it's just bad all the way around. It was bad. It was horrible.
It was horrible. It was disappointing. The fourth and goal thrown right into a double team was a poor choice to begin with. And then he underthrew the pass.
Yeah.
So it was horrible all around. The play call was not good. The execution was worse. You get that result. Again, they didn't play to win. They did not play to win. And that's the overriding disappointing thing. But we get back to the decision on the last drive. Ethan Sanchez, his 49-yarder, it missed so badly. It was so short.
Yeah.
I would not have confidence in him to try another field goal in this game because he was, I mean, that wasn't close at all. And then you get that big play and said, oh, no, we're going to just play conservative and go for overtime. Why? Your kicker just, I mean, I don't want to get on a college kid, but he picked the worst time of the season to have his worst performance as a kicker. He wasn't close on those 2 kicks. Left one short by 5-6 yards? And then he shanked the last one.
Barely got into the end on the 49-yard line.
Oh, my goodness, man. That's so disappointing. And I hope our colleagues in postgame really question Coach Fritz. And what was your thought process? It looked like you were too conservative. Try to get him to come clean with some of the answers, because that was just, why do you decide to go for overtime, not go for the win? Coach, answer that for me, Coach. Oh, my gosh, man.
Real quickly, once again, this is Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian family. Big thank you to everybody that's tuning in to watch us after this disappointing 17-14 loss to TCU. This is 23 ranked Houston coming into this game in the CFP standings. Obviously, they will fall out of the top 25 after this really tough, brutal loss. But regardless, we're here after each and every single football game. So big thank you to Steve Saxenian for being a primary sponsor, and also a shout out to Star Pizza for being today's secondary sponsor. With multiple locations throughout the Houston area, Star Pizza is your go-to stop before and after the game. And right now on a night like this, after a brutal loss, you could use some Star Pizza to fill the void of what the Houston Cougars offense left. A lot to be desired. Kris, you mentioned you hope that Willie Fritz gets asked about the mindset down the stretch. Let's hear what head coach Willie Fritz had to say. Let me put it up here. Post-game coverage, Willie Fritz post-game presser following UH's loss to TCU.
Win it or tie it or whatever the case may be, and we just didn't quite do it. So just disappointed. Like I told those guys, it's this is a really good, balanced league, and you got to play well every single night. And if you don't, you're going to have that kind of outcome. Anybody have any questions?
Willie, offensively, what do you think the problem was there early, just trying to get things started?
We had a really difficult time on third down. I think we were 1 of 2 on fourth down, and I don't know what we were on third down. Didn't convert very many. We were in it a lot, and so it's just there were some drops, there were some protection issues, there's some throws that just weren't on the money. A couple times we needed to bounce the run and we kept it inside. So there's a whole lot of things. I don't know what we were on. We're 4-17 on third down, so that's not very good. So there's 13 of them that we didn't do what we were supposed to. And we had some long yardage. It's disappointing. We don't score at the end of the first half. Then we receive the second half kickoff. We get a hold, and all of a sudden we're in the hole, and we don't get points coming out of it. So those are some of the things.
Coach, did you get a chance to talk with Ethan Sanchez?
After the game?
Yes, sir.
I just patted him on the back. He's won us some games, and you don't want it to have to come down to a field goal. So.
After that first missed kick and going into that second, how much of a confidence thing is it based on what
I don't think he's got a lot of confidence, and I don't know, what was it, a 38-yarder? I think that's correct. So that he the first one was a longer one. It's 49 yards, and that's about his range right there. So no, he's got an abundance of confidence. Unfortunately, it looked like he kind of got out of rhythm when he moved. We didn't have any timeouts, so we had to go and play it.
On that 4th and goal from the 1 or the 1.5, what did you see that made you want to line up and shotgun and pass when the QB sneak had worked so well?
We had a hard time running the ball early, and obviously I wish we would have done something a little different, but they were playing straight running man, and they did a good job of covering us. We had to get rid of the ball quick. They were aggressive up on the line and had every gap filled, so didn't work.
Willie, does it make it even more disappointing that your program's had a momentum, but you haven't been able to build out in these last few home games?
Yeah, it's disappointing. I thought we had, I don't know how many people were there, but I thought we had a pretty decent crowd, and I thought they were into it. And, you want to win them all, so that, you'd like to, come with some momentum into that last game, but unfortunately we didn't. We're going to have to erase this thing after Monday.
TCU's leading receiver today, Jack, played here last year. What made him so just dangerous and slippery against this defense today?
I just did a good job. They did a good job getting them the ball. A nice little inside screen game. They really executed well with the offensive line, and the other receivers blocking. Did a good job with it.
Well, what can you say about your defense keeping things close after that first quarter? And
Will James had an outstanding game. Had a nice punch on the ball, had a nice interception. I thought he played really well. I thought the whole defense, answered. Probably didn't play our best game in the first half. I think we gave up close to 300 yards in the first half, but really played well in the second half. Everybody good? Thank you.
Interesting to hear there from head coach Willie Fritz. I find it curious that he talked about that decision making when it came to before the half and even at the end. Curious what his mindset or his thought process was, because ultimately it's not like they drove and just came up short. They kneeled, like we mentioned, and he didn't bring the way he addressed in the press conference made it seem like they were aggressive, which they were not.
He made it sound like he was, we didn't run block, we didn't block well at times. We didn't bounce out at times, blah blah blah. This, and then on the 4th and 1 call, from shotgun.
Yeah.
We hate that here on Let's Rage Coogs. We hate it with a passion. Why would you do that? 4th and 1, and you're going in shotgun, and then to choose to throw it to a double teamed receiver. Somebody else had to be open. If not, run. So many questions. This game was so disappointing. I mean, TCU 4 turnovers, right? They had 4 turnovers.
Shit,
Yeah.
they didn't want to win the game either.
They didn't either. TCU, they just. I mean, it's kind of saying their offense played less ugly than Houston, but they had 4 turnovers. So this one stinks, man. This one sucks. To lose like this, senior day, 30,000 people there at the stadium announced crowd, and you go out with this weak ass performance. I mean,
it's brutal. Like you said, Kris, 30,852, the official announced attendance for this game, which still, I mean, the last game of the season. This is now 2 times in a row. This is what makes it more frustrating, that they're having so much. They're fighting an uphill battle trying to fill that stadium, and when they do, both times when they're ranked, they just lay a giant egg at home, and you just can't do that if you're trying to build a culture and a fan base that, like you said, isn't diehard. Because right now, they do not have a fair weather fan base, and when they have opportunities to show up and build momentum, they lay an egg and it all falls apart, and you wonder why they can't barely crack 30,000 in a 40,000 stadium.
Need to shake it up on offense, like the comments are saying. I mean, it's very vanilla when it's dropped back to pass. He's either looking to Thomas or Koziel, or it's the check down, or if Kobe is in the game, we might throw it deep. It's just bad, man. Like I don't even know. I'm at a loss for
I mean,
words.
you can hear the
I'm at a
disappointment
loss
in
for
our
words,
voices.
man.
You really can.
Come on,
Yeah.
man. And
And why?
TCU, like,
Cougs, what? Only team, D1 team with 5 or more road games to be undefeated, 5-0 on the road, 3 home losses. Played better on the road than at home. All of us are talking about playing how they've played so poorly and so passively at home. What's the point? Because we have harped on it after road wins about got to get out to the game, got to get out, support the Cougs, got to get out there for your fans. If you got the time, you got the means, got to be out there. And then the coaching staff, and I'm putting it all on the coaches, this conservative, simple play calling. Why would fans want to pay their money to see this when they can sit at home and watch it on TV? You got to give fans reason to come see you in person. And with this bland, vanilla, just woeful offense at home,
I mean, how can you build any sort of expectation? There's no expectation. I mean, even with the record being ranked, I still think people think it's just the same old Houston. When you come out have 2 performances when you're ranked at home like this, it proves the thinking and the point of that. So it's like, I mean, what is going on? I mean, like, what's being aggressive? And then to the marketing, I don't even care about the marketing. These guys have put a better product out there.
That's
Then you
where I
got
am
the
now.
recruits. You got the number 1 recruit coming in. He's the number 1 recruit. Now, and he from the city. I don't even know, man. I'm lost for words, man. This just was bad. We lost to TCU, 4 turnovers. They didn't even want to win the game either. That's what's so crazy. And then we get the big run down there, and then like basketball season is here.
This comment sums it up best. They played like a team today that was just happy to be bold, no urgency, and they didn't go. You have to go for the kill. It's right there for the taking. There was still over a minute left on the clock. I don't understand that draw play and then following it up. If you
No confidence in the quarterback at all. No
which is another
confidence.
question too. Like, what's
I mean, he
there's
got to go.
speculation
I'm
about
sorry. His
injury.
time is
There's
up.
speculation about injury. There's speculation about trust. Whatever the case may be, he had just made a big play with his legs. In my opinion, you have a chance to go for the win. You have a chance to go for the throat, ride or die. And if he makes a pick, so be it. But I'd rather lose being aggressive than still lose trying to be conservative. That's my perspective.
Agreed. And in TCU defense, they didn't break. Wigman did not play well overall,
Yeah,
but he
and
was
he
doing better
struggled.
in the fourth quarter. He had the big run. You're in position. TCU's defense is probably thinking, damn, man, we did all we could so far. And now we're like, what, the 25-yard line?
Mm-hmm.
If they give us a kill shot, we're going to lose the game. But we didn't do it. We got ultra conservative, and you don't even. Yes, the team knows, the opponents know, either Coziel or Mari Thomas. Those last two, was a third down, you little dump off pass to Coziel, but you weren't even throwing the ball in the middle of the field to go be aggressive to try to get into the end zone with a play call. Nothing. Oh, it's just so too conservative. And salute to Keyshawn Henderson, okay, for sticking with his commitment. But I hope they open up the offense for him and let him do his thing and be aggressive in the play calling and play to win and not to lose. Because that's what this comes down to. We have to kill the outside thought process, what Dayon touched on. The same old Houston, the same old conservative this, the same old. We got to win these games. In this city, you have to win. And you have to win a lot and win putting on a show for some fans to come spend that money. This, just 8-3. And they still have passed up, but I thought they'd do this year, finish 6-6. But they had a chance to go 10-2. That should have been the objective. 10-2, then get to a bowl game. Not just, we got a bowl bid now, and so what? Win this game, send your seniors out with a win at home. Be aggressive. They weren't. And that sucks.
What do y'all think about that question from 66 H-Town? What is the culture of this football team? He knew the culture for UH basketball from day one. He knew it immediately when he benched Rob Gray, talking about Kelvin Sampson. 66 H-Town doesn't know what UH football's culture is. What do y'all think it is? If y'all think there is one yet.
I think it's conservative and play not to lose.
I mean, I've talked about the culture, especially in the win over against Oregon State, not giving up, staying in it, playing a full four quarters, fighting to the end. And I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment, although I'm very disappointed. I think that is the culture, but at the same time, you got to add a winning culture and not play to lose, and have add an aggression to the hard nose, never quit, keep fighting till the clock hits zeros, and add that aggression. Like, we're gonna come out and we're gonna try to win. We're not gonna just play to keep it close, play to not lose it. I think that has to be added to that. I think there's some established culture, and I'm not gonna be a prisoner of the moment and act like, 'cause I've said it and I believe it. 'Cause I've seen it. But you can't play scared and play not to lose and play conservative. I mean, you gotta grow some nuts and come out. And then we lose, we go out, we lose, we turn over. But hey, we came out fighting, and so and there's some culture set. I'm not going to sit here and act like it isn't, but it still has to be a little bit more culture of play more aggression. We're gonna come out, we're gonna try to win. Now we're gonna play conservative, and because even to the Oregon State, they didn't open it up until they had to. So
Yep.
you still got to add that aggression. I think that's what's holding us. I don't know if it's the OC. I don't know if it's Coach Fritz. I don't know what it is. Just a lack of confidence in the quarterback. I can't say it's a lack of talent because these guys can make plays. So I can't even say that. And so I just quarterback didn't play well today though.
He
He
didn't.
did
He
not
did
play
not. He
well.
did
He
not.
did not play well. He did not look like an SEC quarterback. He looked like a Big 12 quarterback. He did not play well. I would have rather he didn't play well. He did not play well.
Let's look at those final stats real quick. Connor Wakeman, 15 to 29 on his passing attempts, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns, threw the pick, a bad pick in the end zone. Mari Thomas led the way for Houston receiving. He had 5 catches, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Really bright spot for the offense today in the loss to TCU. Wegman led Houston rushing, obviously powered by that final 40-yard scamper he had on that final drive. He had 114 rushing yards. Dean Connors, 75 rushing yards on 12 carries, and also had the touchdown catch, the snag that tied the game originally at 14. But just overall, top to bottom, just not really any eye-popping or impressive numbers, and really, really quiet night from Tanner Kojo, who obviously has been one of the big targets for Houston, a big part of Houston's offensive success. They just couldn't get him going tonight. Even on that last drive, had an uncharacteristic drop where he's wide open and just doesn't come up with a play.
I mean, you can't even scheme them open. Not even trips to one side, isolate the tight end, flex them out to force a one-on-one. It's like, what's the scheme to scheme our playmakers open? What I didn't see that. So a lot of that got to be on the play calling too. I know Wegman didn't play good, but the play calling has to do better scheme wise to put your playmakers. Because I think Thomas can play on Sundays, and I think Cozy will play on Sundays. So you got to offensively. I did not like what I seen. I did not like what I saw today, and it's been like that a lot of the season. It's been nailed out by some outstanding defensive games, and just by kind of I don't say look at the draw, but the sky isn't falling. I mean, they are 8-3. It has been changed. The football, it has been changed. We are a competitive team. I think to turn that next step, like we're talking about, that culture has to be more aggressive. And mentality has to be like, no, we're gonna come out and play different than what we've seen. And I don't know if you need a more electric playmaker at the quarterback, but this has been true. Wegman has regressed the last 3 games. He has. I don't know if it's injury. I can't say it's injury. If it's injury, why put him out there? So he's out there playing. I can't even. I won't say that. But it's been bad.
And the offense, the play calling, I think has been more aggressive on the road than at home. Make it make sense, consistently. And it's just got a comment hit from person, really hating on Coach Fritz, and and that's fine. You don't like Coach Fritz and the offense. This team won 8 games. They found ways to win 8 games. This team should have won today if they would have just. I'm gonna say it again. We're gonna use nuts that we use sometimes off air. If they just had some nuts and been more aggressive in the play calling, and they weren't today. As poorly as Wigman did for for 3 quarters, basically, they had a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter. Instead, they went conservative and played for overtime. After their kicker just looked awful on a 49-yard attempt. It wasn't even close. And you say, well, we still believe in him. Based on that last kick, I'm going to win. And worry about Ethan Sanchez after the victory. That's way too conservative. The play calling, too conservative. And the one time Tanner Koziel was open, I think they schemed him to get open. So if you did it one time, you could do it more than once. Didn't do that enough. It's frustrating how they lost today because it wasn't like TCU did a whole lot to win this game. They did just enough, though, to win 17-14.
It's frustrating because the game was right there for the taking, considering how bad you played. And it's It's good and bad in terms of the outcome was obviously bad. The way they went out there and they lost is bad, but it's a change of expectations that this program has set over the course of this season. They sit at 8-3, and 2 out of those 3 losses were really, really bad losses in West Virginia and obviously tonight against TCU. And if you truly are trying to become quote unquote powerhouse, those are games that you have to, one, I believe you have to be more aggressive, and two, you just gotta, if you're gonna lose, I put all your cards on the table, put everything and lose aggressively than conservatively. And it came back, it bit them on the backside tonight against TCU. And this very well could be a team that sits at 8-3. They very well could be at 10-1 if they are clean. If they do come in with a more of a game plan. Also, granted, the defense played phenomenal. They forced 4 turnovers. They held them in check, even on that last drive by TCU. They bended but did not break. TCU's play calling was terrible too, by the way. Same thing. Fourth and 1. I kind of agree with the decision to go for game. I don't agree with that play call whatsoever. They had tried a wildcat just a few plays earlier, failed miserably. Tried again, but you know what? I digress. That's not important. You get to stop. But first drive of the game, it's been a couple times, multiple times this season where opposing teams have gone down the field and put up a touchdown on the opening drive of the game on this Houston defense. And that's something to monitor. Usually they're able to shake it off more often than not, but I'm curious if it's something that coming into games, offenses are able to see something and then Houston's defense adjusts. But that's something, set the tone, right? There's a lot of times where if you're already playing from behind, you get yourself in a hole and you have to dig yourself out. And this offense in particular, they've shown it in spurts, but I don't think they're really built to play from behind.
I think the defense has been scored on, giving up a touchdown on the opening drive maybe 4 times this season, at least 4. I think of at least 3 for sure, but
it seems like it's been 4 out of the last 5 because they got scored on against Oklahoma State, I believe, or no, it was the game before that against Arizona for sure. They got scored on by
West Virginia.
Yep, West Virginia. I want to say, I might be confused. It didn't. I'm pretty sure Oklahoma State scored first.
I had the stat, but I don't have it. I lost it, or I forgot to save it. Whatever. So that's on me.
Well, let me go back to obviously Oregon State.
But it's sad that if TCU would have kicked the field goal to go up 2014, the team would have had to go for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Instead, they went for it, and their play call wasn't really great either. So the Cougs, like the staff was like, hey, they were conservative too, so let's be conservative back and let's go for overtime. You were handed a gift. Could have won this game 21-17 or 2017, whatever.
This kind of where I'm at. I mean, I know I'm salty about this one, and as bad as it is, but it's heading in the right direction for sure. But what can now that just being competitive isn't enough for me. I want to win championships. Like, what does it take for us to get over the hump? It's not going to take what we're saying today, being conservative. How can you truly sell? What are you going to sell for play calling? We got the number 1 recruit coming in the quarterback. The expectation is going to be on this young man to come through and do a lot as a 5-star quarterback, number 1. And from the outside, we got to surround him with good play calling and support system, and for him to be able to do what he has. But these last 2 games, we got to come out and really end on a good note. Another chance to play Baylor, which is another in-state rival, if you will, in which it's going to be another big recruiting to win that game. And so you got to end the season on the right note.
And they're still going to a bowl game. Let's be clear about that too. Baylor's reeling. Their defense has been good all year. So we'll see if the Cougars' play calling is more aggressive next Saturday to take advantage of Baylor's woeful defense. But the disappointing thing is losing to West Virginia how they did, and then coming out today after as all of us have said it, they were back in the polls. And you come out with this, it was like they were happy to be they were satisfied to be in the poll in the CFP. They're like, hey, we're in the CFP once again, or now we're back in the top 25. Let's just be content with that, and that's it.
For the coaches.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm all on the coaches. I am all on the
okay.
coaches. This is all on
Yeah,
there.
'cause
This is
like,
all on
come
there.
on, man.
I mean,
Except the
this is all
defensive
on there.
coach, though. I want to make sure. I got to give him.
Yeah.
We got to give him his flowers. Although it's a slow start, they come out, they score their quick drive or whatever. But other than that, they got the stops when needed. They caused turnovers, got the ball back to the offense, and so I want to make sure that put all this in context because the defense, only 32, young, up and coming D coordinator. I wouldn't be surprised if he get poached from us again and get a pay grade like our last DC did. I wouldn't be surprised.
And I wouldn't blame him. But it's because there were times this season when the defense played well, but was unable to force turnovers. Today, they played well and forced turnovers, and the offense let them down. The play calling offensively let them down. Quarterback play let them down. That's what makes this one so disappointing.
What a comment by NM.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's a good point right there. Like to come out and get them prepared. That's how it seemed to get the team up and prepared because these slow starts has a routine like Andy mentioned. Like where, right? I agree with that. That's a good comment by M8 to 8245. I agree with that for sure. I agree with that
Especially
for
that
sure.
last half. Where's the hunger? Where's the desire for more? Why is 23 enough? And then same thing for West Virginia. Why was just being in the top 25 enough?
And that's what it seemed like the coaches were. They were content with that. And if they lose to Baylor, they're 8-4. And they would have, what were they at one point this year? 7 and what?
7-1.
7-1. So if they lose next Saturday, that'd be 1-3 finish. And Baylor, if they lose to Baylor, West Virginia, the West Virginia loss was awful. They lose to Baylor, as reeling as Baylor is, that'd be awful too. In the season, well, you still have the bowl, which, I don't really care about bowls if you're not playing the CFP. But for the kids, you get the extra practice. Coaches say you get the extra practice time. You get a chance to build and establish a culture for next season. Okay, whatever. But change the mindset, mentality, and the coaching staff to be aggressive and
That's the missing piece
to win
right there, Chris.
championships, not just win 8 games.
Yep, I'm with you right there. I think that's the missing piece right there. That's the missing piece. You got to add the aggression and set the expectation. I think players maybe play down to that and maybe lose a bit of juice, a bit of like, we're not gonna go for it here, and they can begin. It started with the second half, 45 like that can bleed over to the second half, and so yeah, that extra piece has to be added.
Not too much more to say about this loss. It comes down to next week. Like you said, Chris, they got to go up to Waco, and that's a team and game on paper that they are favored in. They should go up there, shake this one off, send a message, and come away with a victory to end 9-3 and potentially still put yourself in a position to end the season with double-digit wins for the first time in a long time. Obviously, considering the bowl game that's to follow. But this one's gonna sting. It really is gonna leave a sour taste in your mouth for all UH fans, just in terms of one, the defensive performance, the inability to capitalize on 4 turnovers that TCU gifted you. And again, the first time that you're ranked in the top 25, the CFP, and for the second time this season, when you have a little bit of expectations put about you where you come up short with those expectations. And it's a sobering reminder of where the program truly is at this point in time. And hopefully they're able to shake it off and end the season on a positive note up in Waco.
And I like ground and pound, beating people in the ground with you winning up front. But you still need better play calling. I've seen a few commenters talk about need better talent. To a point, yes. But even with talent, you still have to put them in position to make plays. You still got to call better plays to get them in position to shine, to have that talent come through. Because if you have talent and all you're doing is looking to your tight end, his double teamed, then what? You know what I'm saying? So the play calling has to be more aggressive, because you can scheme ways to make decent talent open. Give decent players a chance to catch the ball in space. You can do that. So this loss is disappointing with the way, and again, TCU's offense, Josh Hoover got picked off 3 times. This win, as poorly as the offense had played and was playing, even from that mindset, I would not have wanted to go in overtime, because I would have been thinking, we're being gifted a chance to win this game. So let's get it over with right now. And they still were conservative and said, no, let's go to overtime. Why? Take this gift, get this dub, and move on. And they didn't do it. Because you can play poorly and still win. They decided, no, they've done a lot of this year. They decided to go in overtime. No, that's my problem. No. Had momentum, finally had some momentum, and then they said, no, let's be conservative and let's go to OT.
Once again, this is Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian family, the original Houston postgame show. After each and every single football and men's basketball game, we'll be right back Monday after UH men's basketball's game against Syracuse as they tip off the Las Vegas, the Players Era Festival competition from Vegas. So be sure to mark your calendars. We'll be right after that game. We'll be talking about everything UH Syracuse on Monday evening. A big shout out to Star Pizza as well for being a secondary sponsor on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs. Big thank you to Mike and Jennifer Pittman, not only for being a sponsor on this edition, but also helping us providing tickets for our giveaways. We give away 2 tickets. Unfortunately, we might have sent UH fans to have to see we might have scarred him a little bit, but we got people out to the stadium. So big thank you to Star Pizza for sharing those tickets in all seriousness. Really awesome. We got to send out 2 UH fans to this game at TCU Stadium. So check them out online, starpizza.net, multiple locations throughout the Houston area, social media platforms, Star Pizza, HOU on X, Star Pizza, Houston, Texas on Instagram. They have a variety of different pizzas, variety of different daily specials, multiple locations. Star Pizza, your go-to spot before and or after the game. Once again, the final score from TCU Stadium. It is the Horned Frogs that come away with the 17-14 victory over the 23 ranked Houston Cougars. For Houston, they'll try to bounce back against the Baylor Bears next Saturday from Waco. Kris, Dayon, any final thoughts before we put a bow on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs?
Yeah, a couple things. I'll let Dayon close us out. This is another loss to a Texas school. So that's the motivation right there to get a win and be aggressive and be attacking. You want to beat teams from Texas. You got one more shot next Saturday, beat Baylor. But the ultimate sadness for me is just think how the tone of this show would be different if they would have just been aggressive that last drive, win this game, and we come on the show and say, it wasn't pretty, but it was a W.
They found a way to win.
They found a way to win. Yeah. They didn't do that today. But I'm KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Round Ball Review. Thank you, as always, to our supporters and our fans and viewers for watching the show on Paul Slamma Jam on YouTube and also the Houston Round Ball Review on YouTube. Join us on Monday night to talk about a Cougars victory over Syracuse. Since 1994, the Houston Round Ball Review. Local name, global perspective.
And you can see the emotion on us because that means we actually care. We care about the teams. We're alumni, we're fans, we're supporters. Like Andy mentioned, we're getting people out to the stadium, doing all we can to bring attention and awareness and do all the things to help Houston continue to grow. And I know the skies are falling, although we're highly disappointed in this loss. But let's win next week, win the bowl game, and then look forward to the recruits we got coming in. I'm expecting more recruits to join. And maybe we could turn this 8 wins to 10, 11 wins and get a Big 12 championship. I think it's right there for the grabbing the Big 12. No juggernauts in the Big 12. We still can be the powerhouse that we want to be, but we got to add that aggression. We got to add that aggression. And as always, win, lose, or draw. Go Cougs.